mean, he turned into a guy now. Clearly, he's been taking his vitamins.
He's been taking his Wheaties, something.
Yes, and you'll know why we say this in just a second. We are honoring someone who has broken barriers in the racing world. He's the first African-American driver to win a NASCAR Grand Am race and one of only 7 black NASCAR drivers in the history of the sport.
That's right. He is sharing his history-making story of rising, about it all in his new memoir, Winning in Reverse. Please welcome Bill Lester. And Bill, we were saying your book should be called Aging in Reverse. You look amazing.
I appreciate it, guys. I'm obviously living well. I'm living right.
Well, you're doing something right, and it's pretty cool because your story is not the average one or the usual one. In fact, this was just a side hobby, racing for you, and then you didn't become a full-time professional racer until age 40. You quit your job at Hewlett Packard, and then you went into the racing world. What gave you that courage to do that?
It really was a belief in myself. I knew that I wanted to be a race car driver. I knew that I was going to have to work hard to be able to do so. But the real push, believe it or not, was my wife's encouragement. After we got married, I was a research and development project manager at Hewlett Packard. And you know, one day she just sat me down. She said, listen, hon, you're miserable. You're not getting any younger, and you're not getting it any easier to live with. So make this dream of yours a reality, or say that you gave it your best shot and it wasn't meant to be. Fortunately, you know, the former came about. I made it happen.
Again, 40-year-old black man who went to Berkeley. He's an engineer at Hewlett Packard. That's not exactly the formula for NASCAR drivers, I would say, and certainly not when you got into it. What was that greeting like for you? There's been so much talk recently about race this past year in NASCAR, but what was that like as that guy going into that environment still some decades ago?
Yeah, absolutely. My situation, my story is very atypical, and when I came into NASCAR, it was effectively out of nowhere from their perspective. You know, they didn't know who I was. It was kind of like that scene from Days of Thunder where Tom Cruise rides his motorcycle into the racetrack and everybody's looking at him with 2 heads like, you know, who is this guy? That's kind of the reception I got, because mostly in the NASCAR environment, everybody knows who each other is. It's a very small, you know, family in terms of where everybody effectively grows up and races around each other. And here I am racing and paying my dues in Northern California, road racing sports cars, never having run around on dirt, never having run around on an oval, road racing sports cars, turning right and turning left. But I came to NASCAR and was able to demonstrate that I had the talent.
Oh, you certainly did, Bill. And in fact, you were the last black driver to race in that coveted NASCAR Cup Series before Bubba Wallace. We know that Bubba, in light of everything that happened over this past year with this racial reckoning that this country has faced, asked NASCAR to remove all Confederate flags from its arenas and from its events. It did so. What did you make of that, and does that change this sport going forward in any real way?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a huge statement. I would have never thought when I was racing primarily in the mid-2000s that NASCAR would have taken the stand that they did. And I was really proud of the fact that they did that, and so appreciative of that I actually sent an email to Steve Phelps, the president of NASCAR, indicating to him that I was very proud of what they decided to do. I thought that would go a long way towards making the sport more inviting and welcoming to everybody, especially people of color who, once they saw, you know, Confederate flags, you know, flying proudly in the breeze, that's a deterrent. That's a detractor. That's something that we don't feel comfortable with. And that's why, by and large, we were, I like to say, closet NASCAR fans. There were a lot of folks that were supportive of NASCAR, but the environment just wasn't inclusive. It just wasn't welcoming to us. So why would we go somewhere where we didn't feel welcome?
Bill, it is such a pleasure to talk to you. Good luck with the book. And again, folks, it's called Winning in Reverse. It's available now. Bill Lester, we hope to see you down the road, all right?
Thank you. Appreciate you too. Thank you so much.
Wow, he just brightened my Wednesday in a million different ways. Thanks to Bill.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.